someone who knows something. I have questions and I need answers fucking now. We're looking for a man, you might have heard of him. First name Justinas, last name Lekalivicius. He used to be adored by many, breaking out in 2024 and being a top 5 player of the year. Even won a major and a major MVP. But now people want him dead. His #1 crime? Bad analysis in the analysis desk. Last time seen on Twitch. It's about time we brought Buddy in. So if anyone has any answers or you think you've seen something, please text us at 427-BARMOUR/2987A4ALS. Thank you. Barmlings, are you looking to quickly and easily sell your skins? Then check out today's sponsor, sellyourskins.com. All you need to do is sign in through Steam, select the skins you're looking to sell, pick from a wide range of payout methods such as PayPal, bank transfer, or even crypto, and then use code Garmour for a 5% bonus. Hit the big sell your skins button, and voila, you have just turned your skins into real money. Along with this, the site has a great bonus system where the more you sell, the bigger bonus you'll receive. If you're looking to sell your skins today, hit the link in the description or use code Garmour. Thank you to them for sponsoring, and back to the video. The story of JL is literally unlike anyone that I have ever seen before, just because of how unbelievably quick he took over the entire Counter-Strike world and then just dipped. He is without a doubt the greatest, most diabolical one-year wonder I have ever seen. His first ever Wikipedia listed tournament was Baltic Esports League Season 2, where he played on a team called Figure 05. It was a full 5-man Lithuanian team, and unfortunately with only the top 4 teams making it through to the playoffs, they would miss as their total group stage record was 7-8. JL would continue to play in small C-tier tournaments throughout 2019 and 2020 until he eventually joined his first big boy team in Mad Lions in March of 2021. And when he first joined Mad Lions, the team included TMB, Tudson, Sawsoul, and Waro 2K. Also at this time, JL looked like this. I personally say that we bring this shit back. It's kind of fire. And well, during JL's total time on Mad Lions, he played 242 maps and posted a 1.1 rating. Not really enough to blow your socks off, but enough to get him onto a team named Apeks. He would join this team in August of 2022 and begin playing with Nock, Sticko, Jacom, and Shox. Now this team would be fine, not anything crazy. They'd be in tier 2 for most of their time playing, and eventually Shox would be replaced by Kixin. And while being a tier 2 team throughout a majority of 2022, Apeks weren't really super interesting. They were a cool mix of young and veteran players, but the team really broke out in 2023 when they first played at the Blast TV Paris Major 2023 Europe RMR Closed Qualifier B. Holy fucking title. Here they would get first place tied with Gamer Legion, and this would allow the team to qualify for the event's main RMR. Here JL would post a 1.03 rating. Then at the main RMR with teams like Na'Vi, Fnatic, Mouse, OG, FaZe, Virtus Pro, and Falcons, the boys would actually look fairly strong and make it through 3-2, beating Gamer Legion 16-8, Sprout 2-0, and Bait 2-0, while losing to FaZe and Bad News Eagles. Here though, the main star of the team would actually be JL, as he played significantly better than last time, posting a 1.24 rating. Now this is where you would probably say, okay fellas, enough's enough. You're a tier 2 team, you got your sticker money, just enjoy what you got. But then they would go on to Fry in the challenger stage of this major, going 3-1 and beating Liquid, 16-0ing Greyhound, losing to G2 and then 2-1ing Pain. They would follow this up with a 3-2 in the main stage and somehow making the playoffs of the Paris Major. Now, as pretty much everyone in the history who has ever watched Counter-Strike knows, the #1 way to stand out and really go from tier 2 to tier 1 is to perform well at a major. And well, every single motherfucker on Apeks just put their name in the hat, and tier 1 teams are picking names out of that hat next season. In this final group stage of the major though, JL along with pretty much everyone else on the team's form dipped drastically. Jacom had a 1.2, which, you know, Jacom is experienced, he's been around the block, he was a very good player for a long time. This makes sense. But then you have Nock at a 101, Kixin at a 1.0, JL at a 0.99, and Sticko at a 0.91. Then in the playoffs, Apeks would go on to beat Liquid once again and lose to the eventual winner Vitality, but it was incredibly close as they lost Vertigo 12-16 16, and Mirage 14 to 16. In these playoffs, JL was the team's worst performing player with a 0.86. While JL's overall rating with Apeks was a 1.14, this showing at Paris for him was fine. His all-time rating against top 20 teams on Apeks was a 103, and he only really had that one good RMR performance that you could be impressed by. You know, other than that, he was pretty good in the challenger stage, posting a 1.14. But then against really good teams in the main groups, he posted a 0.99 and was the team's worst player in the playoffs at a 0.86. And when he did have that good 1.14 rating in the challenger stage, he was just middle of the pack. Everyone on the team kind of had a very similar rating to that. So it seemed like at this point, nothing JL did during this major really stood out that much. Genuinely, it seemed like the main selling point for him was just his personality. It seemed like on Apeks, he was the vibes guy. He was always hyped up himself. He was hyping everyone else up. And while that is valuable to have on a team, if his form was going to drastically drop off in tier 1, you know, that can only really do so much. That's why when it was announced Navi's new roster would be featuring Bit, Simple, Alexi B, Emo who broke out at the Paris Major, and JL from Apeks, Navi was quite honestly getting fucking clowned on. There were some parts of the team that looked good, but JL? Really? After he just dropped a 0.86 in the playoffs and was the worst player on Apeks? What was Navi even thinking? Then in 2023, where half of the tournaments were CSGO and the other half were CS2, it was kind of a weird time. JL posted a 1.03 with the team. This is kind of what you would expect of him, honestly. And along with this, at the end of this year, Simple would step down from the active roster and he would be replaced by Wonderful. The first event Navi would go on to play in 2024 was the CS2 Copenhagen Major RMR. Well, the closed RMR. It's the RMR before the RMR. And here Navi would get first place with JL posting a 1.19, but it's kind of a fake 1.19 when you consider how dominant they were. Every single person on the team was positive, and JL was the second lowest to Alexi B. Then after this, the Blast Premier Spring groups would come along where JL would post a 104. Then Katowice 2024 Donk's big breakout event where Navi would place 7th to 8th, missing the playoffs, and JL would post a 1.09 rating. After this is when the actual Copenhagen RMRs would come around, and once again Navi would look fairly dominant, making it through 3-1. Their only loss was to VP. But here JL would be Navi's highest rated player with a 1.14. Still nothing super incredible, but Navi's performances at these RMRs was good enough for them to just skip the opening stage of this major, and they would go straight to the last group stage. Here, they would start 0-2, beating Mongols and G2, but then it looked like disaster would strike, as they would lose to Spirit 1-2, lose to Cloud9 1-2, and now find themselves in a 2-2 game for their major lives. Thankfully, though, they would kind of comfortably win 2-0, and in this win, JL would be the second highest rated player with a 1.32, but that's not even all. He's their highest rated player by a decent chunk. In the groups here, Emo was unfortunately kind of choking. He had posted a 0.74 and was the lowest rated player on the team. Bit was fine with a 105. Wonderful was playing pretty well with a 113. And then there was JL with a 1.19. So far in the groups, he had gone positive in every single map besides the series against Cloud9. He posted a 1.55 against Mongols, going 22 and 14, a 1.26 against G2, going 18 and 15, and on map 1 against Spirit, on Nuke, JL would post a 2.24 rating, going 40 and 19. 40 and 19, and they would win 16 to 13 in overtime. I feel like this specific map is really remembered as when JL fully broke out, because this was an unreal performance. Before this, he was looked at as a fine player for the team, but not a star player by any means. And this wasn't against some bummy ass team. At this point, Spirit was ranked number 2 in the world, and this was literally right after Donk had his unbelievable IEM Kato performance. Spirit were maybe the hottest team in all of Counter-Strike, and JL just dropped 40 kills on their head. Going into the playoffs of this major, Navi were not even close to being favored to do anything. The main favorites here were Vitality, Spirit, FaZe, and G2. Luckily enough for Navi, they got in the bracket with Eternal Fire, Mouse, and G2, and they got to miss out on Spirit, FaZe, and Vitality, but it still wouldn't be an easy road at all. Their first game against Eternal Fire, they were favored, and it was very close, but they would win 2-0, with JL posting a 1.25, but the real star of the show being Wonderful with his 1.61. Then after after this, they would play G2. They were the underdogs of this match. G2 had Prime, Monesi, and Nico. And well, if it wasn't for JL in this match, Monesi and Nico absolutely would have walked away with it. Instead, this is where we get another iconic JL performance, and he hits one of the best Eagle clips in CS2 to this point. Somehow, Na'Vi had made the grand final of the first CS2 Major, and JL, who had been a role player up to this point, was doing shit we didn't even think was possible for role players to do. Then, against the current #1 ranked team in the world, FaZe, Na'Vi would win 2-1, and JL would post a 1.25. Then, due to him being the highest rated player on Na'Vi with a 1.22, and being tied for the 5th highest rating at the entire event, JL would win the Major MVP. It was beginning to look like maybe JL wasn't just a role player, and maybe he was a big game player. Maybe JL was actually him. But shortly after this Major, Na'Vi would bomb out of ESL Pro League Season 19 and IEM Dallas, and JL would post a 1.02 and a 0.9 rating. At this point, people were thinking that the Na'Vi Major run was kind of a fluke, but this is when Na'Vi would lock in, become the best team in the world, make 6 finals in a row, winning 3 of them, and during this span of tournaments, JL would post a 1.18, being one of the best riflers in the entire game, and the highest rated, looked at main star of Na'Vi during this time. He was the heart and soul of the team, he was their big game player, he really had an incredibly huge impact on this team during this time. Now, 2024 wouldn't be perfect. Na'Vi would end off the year kind of shaky, placing 7th to 8th at Blast Premier World Final, and missing the playoffs of Perfect World Shanghai. At that Blast Premier World Final, JL posted a 0.81, and at the Perfect World Shanghai Major, he posted a 0.9. During 2024, JL would become one of the most polarizing players in the entire scene. I feel like most people loved him, some people absolutely hated him, and well, his 1.14 rating over the course of the year, along with being the biggest playoff riser this year, along with his Major MVP, his ESL Pro League Season 20 MVP, of course his Major win and his 3 other tournament wins, and being the closer of the year, JL would go from being a pretty decent role player to being the #5 player in the world in 2024. This is an astronomical rise that I don't think anyone expected to happen. I don't even know if JL expected this to happen. I'm sure he had a lot of confidence in himself, but I mean, going in your first full year of Tier 1 and doing this, I'm sure it even shocked him. But this, unfortunately, is also a part of the reason why he is the most diabolical one-year wonder in Counter-Strike history. Because when you look at his HLTV page today, you see that he is benched and see that every single achievement he has to this day is from 2024. 2025 was not as kind to JL and Na'Vi. He dropped down to a 1.07 rating, and despite consistently being a playoff team, Na'Vi couldn't really break through the ceiling again to win tournaments. And while JL was consistently good this year, he just wasn't as good as he was last year. And you notice this especially when you look at his playoff performances. In 2024 in playoffs, JL had a 1.18 rating. Like I said, he was the biggest playoff riser of the year. And well, in 2025, he went from having a 1.12 in groups all the way down to a 0.96 in playoffs. He was now, unfortunately, one of the biggest playoff droppers. It's kind of strange to see a player just completely be a polar opposite to what they were the year before. And I don't know exactly why this happened, but clearly JL was not happy with himself. And well, after the Austin Major, where they placed 5th to 8th and made playoffs, he would step down from the starting roster and be replaced by Mikaze. And well, to this day, without big game JL, Na'Vi has still not won another S tier tournament. Now, this is a story that I'm not really sure how to feel about because it is legendary no matter how you look at it, but I do feel like JL has some unfinished business in Counter-Strike. I mean, he basically did everything in 1 year, but I don't know, I feel like there still has to be that hunger for him to want to come back. And listen, man, I love JL. I'm personally a fan, so I would like to see him come back, but at this point, where would he go? There was that wild ass rumor that he would play for Mongols. That's not even a rumor. I think that was just confirmed that he was supposed to play for Mongols, at least stand in for them. Seeing JL and 4 Mongolians on a team would just be a fucking fever dream. I can't believe that was real. There were some rumors about him maybe joining 100 Thieves, but I don't know if that actually is true or not. I think it was more just people hoping than actually knowing anything. And I mean, at this point, I feel like it's really just up to JL of whether he wants to come back or fully delve into content creation. Or maybe he wants to stand in for a completely dead and rotting Team Liquid. It does seem like his YouTube and Twitch is doing incredibly well, so if he did want to continue doing that, I really wouldn't blame him. Please come back, please. JL, you need to join Mouse.
God, Sam, what the hell? What the hell?
Everyone fucking hates Mouse. You are the only one that can save them. I don't care if Spinks is their best player. I want you to go in there and make them a major winning team, okay, buddy? Ugh, do I want that? Is JL enough to make people like Mouse? JL the Spirit. You get both 2024 major MVPs on one team? That's cinema to me. Get these fuckers speaking some English. Actually, wait! JL can speak Russian. I forgot JL can speak Russian. I've seen clips of him speaking Russian with Simple. I know I have. Get Tanir the fuck out of that team. I love you, Tanir, but we're adding JL the Spirit, okay? Oh my god, JL the Spirit would be fucking cinema. Get JL the Paravision? Bro, I forgot this motherfucker could speak Russian. That opens up so much. JL the VP? I don't want Buddy to go to FaZe. Please don't go to FaZe, bro. Anyone but FaZe. Anyone but Liquid as well. Oh my god. Anyone but FaZe and Liquid. JL Spirit, we fucking cooking in this kitchen, buddy. Anyways, that's it for me today, fellas. Let me know down below if you would like to see JL back, or do you hate his guts? Tooey, I spit on you, JL. I hate you. If you do, no disrespect. I mean, I think you're a dork, but like, we can all have our own opinions. Liking the video if you liked, subscribing if you want to subscribe, turn on the bell if you want notifications. And yeah, that's it for me, fellas. I will see you all next time.